Flight 203 didn't crash. It simply disappeared. 172 passengers. Clear blue sky. No mayday, no debris. Just silence. 3 days later, a faint distress signal was picked up from a hidden gorge in the Himalayas. A place that doesn't appear on any map, and according to every known record, doesn't exist. But when the rescue team arrived, they found something far stranger than a crash site. The plane was intact, still warm, no one inside. What happened to Flight 203 was never meant to be found. But it found us. The rescue team, led by Dr. Lena Voss, a geologist with a reputation for chasing unexplained seismic anomalies, landed just before sunrise. The canyon was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Silent, too perfect, no wildlife, not even wind. They found the fuselage split but not broken. Seatbelts still fastened. Coffee still steaming. Everything inside looked paused. Then they discovered something worse. The cockpit recorder. The pilot's final words were not a distress call. They were a whisper. Beginning descent. Beginning descent. Beginning. Looped 1,004 times. On the second night, they heard tapping. Inside an overhead compartment, curled into himself like a dying insect, was Jonah Kato, a flight attendant. He was pale, dehydrated, mumbling nonsense until Voss asked what happened to the others. Jonah only said, "Don't trust the mirrors. It shows you things you can't forget." Then he passed out. They found it deep in the wreck, hidden in the cargo hold. 7 feet tall, untouched, upright. A mirror, ancient, ornate. Farid, one of the rescuers, stared into it too long. He screamed, said he saw himself, aged, decayed, eyes hollow, reaching out. Then he vanished. In his place, only his boots, still warm. No tracks, no trace. Voss stared next. Her reflection blinked out of sync, slightly delayed, like something was watching through her face. Jonah begged them to cover the mirror, but the damage was done. Scratched into the canyon wall under layers of frost was a spiral, primitive, pulsing. At its center, a symbol Lena had drawn in her journal as a child, a symbol from a dream she never understood. Jonah said the passengers followed the spiral. Those who walked the path forgot who they were, until the canyon let them go, or kept them. Time collapsed, watches reversed. The sun blinked. Shadows moved against light. One team member, Ravi, saw his mother, long dead, whispering to him from behind a wall. He ran toward her, and was never seen again. The canyon didn't trap people. It lured them with memory, regret, desire. Jonah explained, "It's not just a place, it's a hunger." At the canyon center, Lena saw her daughter, standing behind the mirror, alive, laughing. But her daughter died 5 years ago, in a house fire Lena blamed herself for. To see her again, Lena only had to give something up. Her name, her guilt, her memory. The canyon offers peace, but at a cost. She chose to forget. The next day, the canyon was gone. Just snow. A ridge where the spiral once was. The team evacuated. Jonah stayed behind. Said he had nothing left to remember anyway. Lena returned. Different. Smiling and calm. But she no longer answered to her own name. Flight 203 was marked as an unexplained aerial event. All data classified. The plane? Dismantled and buried in Nevada. But 2 weeks ago, another flight disappeared. Flight 717. Over Alaska. Same signature. Same final words. Beginning descent. But then came a new line. We see the canyon. And then nothing. Some places aren't meant to be mapped. Some memories aren't meant to be remembered. And some passengers never land. If you're ever on a flight, and you feel the descent begin too soon, check your reflection. And if it blinks twice, don't look back. This was the Chronodark. If this story chilled your bones or bent your mind, subscribe for more true horrors, strange disappearances, and stories hidden from the light. And remember, some flights never land. 2 months after Flight 203 vanished, it happened again. Flight 717 disappeared en route from Anchorage to Tokyo. 30 minutes before the signal was lost, the pilot radioed in strange turbulence. He reported seeing a canyon in the clouds, spinning. Search teams found nothing. No wreckage, no beacon. But deep in a restricted range in Kamchatka, Russian climbers discovered something buried in the ice. A jet engine, still warm, etched into its side. The same spiral symbol Dr. Voss saw in the Himalayas. The descent hadn't ended. It was spreading. After returning from the canyon, Dr. Lena Voss vanished from the public eye. She was last seen boarding a cargo vessel under a false name. No passport, no luggage, only a leather notebook and a mirror wrapped in cloth. But before she left, she sent a single encrypted file to her former colleague, Dr. Chieko Koro. The file contained audio from the Flight 203 black box, but reversed. And in the silence between loops, you could hear it. Breathing. Reflection moves after Lena does. As the ship pulls away, her face flickers like static. Dr. Okoro played the file in a soundproof lab. The looping phrase beginning descent slowed, twisted. But hidden beneath the waveform was a second voice. Female. It whispered coordinates. Repeated once. Then a phrase in ancient Akkadian. Bring back the broken light. The coordinates pointed to a newly formed sinkhole in Greenland, where no aircraft had ever flown. But satellite images showed something impossible. A perfectly preserved spiral path, etched in ice 700 meters wide. Just like the one Lena found in the Himalayas. Okoro assembled a private team, linguists, physicists, and one survivor, Jonah Kato. They flew to the site in secret. Snow fell upward. Compasses spun wildly. At the center of the spiral, buried beneath 30 feet of ice, was a door. Not metallic, not man-made, stone. Seamless, ancient. Jonah stood before it, trembling. He whispered, "It's not a door. It's a memory." Then it opened. The corridor behind the door was gravity-defying. Walls twisted like a Mobius strip. Light came from nowhere. Sound echoed forward instead of back. They found items inside. A pilot's cap from 203. A crew badge from 717. Both impossibly pristine. Then they found a mirror. Floating. Koro stared. He saw himself, but older. With no eyes. The mirror blinked. And Okoro fell to his knees, weeping. He didn't remember why. Jonah stood in the center of the spiral chamber and spoke clearly for the first time. Flight 203 didn't land. It was collected. He explained. The spiral was not a symbol. It was an intelligence. Not alive. Not dead. Just observing. Collects echoes of grief. Fragments of souls. It doesn't feed on pain. Preserves it. As tribute. As they explored further, an alarm triggered. A countdown began. But there was no device, only the sound of engines. Outside the chamber, they saw it. Another plane, mid-descent, phasing in and out of existence. Flight 910. A private jet lost in 1998. It hovered inches above the spiral, then blinked out. Gone. A voice filled the chamber, calm and hollow. Next arrival, imminent. A new door opened behind them. Voss stood there, or something wearing her face. She smiled. Warm. Familiar. Only one of you remembers your real name. Only that one may leave. Each member forgot something. Their childhood, their lover, their own voice. Only Jonah stood firm. He whispered his mother's name. And the canyon let him go. The others faded. Into echoes. Jonah woke up alone on a beach in Iceland, clutching a spiral-shaped stone. No memory of how he got there. But one word burned in his mind. Descent. He wandered for hours before collapsing near a lighthouse. Authorities found him. Dazed. Quiet. When asked what happened to Flight 203, he simply replied, "It's still landing. Some planes crash. Others vanish. But Flight 203 is still descending. Through memory. Through time. Through you. If you wake up one day and can't remember who you are, check your pockets. If there's a stone spiral in your hand, you were never supposed to come back. This was the Chronodark. If this story twisted your sense of time, subscribe for more unsettling truths hidden in history, sky, and soul. Pushpin comment below. What would you leave behind to escape?